What's up, dudes? Today we're talking about everyone's favorite perk, Dead Hard. So, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here...
Hi, how are you?
I know, the format's a little bit different for those who are coming back to the channel, but anyway, we're talking about Dead Hard today. So, Dead Hard is absolutely one of the most used survivor perks in Dead by Daylight, but why is that? Well, some believe it's because of the crutch that comes with the perk, and some believe the perk to actually be the best exhaustion perk in the game, and then others are just sheep. Nah, I'm kidding, but regardless, a lot of survivors run this perk. You're seeing this perk in pretty much 9 out of 10 games, and that's not a wild, overly exaggerated statistic. The guys in the community who get paid enough to do the math like that have ran the numbers, and it's accurate.
What are these strange markings?
The point of this video is to get to the bottom of it, though. We can run the numbers, we can run the tests, but what I want to understand is why it's so overused, what makes it so strong in most situations, and where and how it could possibly be fixed to where it's still a good, strong, fun perk, but less of a nuisance to everyone who's ever thought about playing killer. So, buckle up, because the comment section is going to be on fire. So let's start with the basics. What is the perk? Well, it's an exhaustion perk, a perk that can be used once and can't be used again for a different amount of time based on the tier of the perk. It also refreshes if you've been hooked. So let's say you loop the killer for 2 full minutes, and at 1 minute you were forced to use your Dead Hard, but at 2 you go down and get put on a hook. Then you proceed to get immediately unhooked less than 10 seconds later. Congratulations, you have your Dead Hard back.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Okay, but what does the perk itself actually do? Well, once entered, the perk readies, and you gain the ability to activate it by pressing one button. The perk makes your survivor dash forward, ignoring all damage that you would have received. Now, there's actually a lot to break down within what the perk does, and we will get there, believe me. But first, we need to talk about why every killer you will ever meet will tell you that they hate this perk with an undying passion.
When are you gonna give a guy a break?
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
This perk manages to end up on the perk list of almost every survivor due to the usefulness of it in almost every bad situation a survivor could come across in a game of Dead by Daylight. Need to make it a few more feet to a pallet with the killer right behind you? Dead Hard. Need to make it a little bit further around a loop to get back to a pallet because the killer is too close? Dead Hard. Messed up your loop, got stuck, whatever, and the killer's about to smack that ass? Dead Hard. The killer just straight up makes you look like a fool with the best mind game this side of the Mississippi? Dead Hard. You pull a full doof play and unhook a survivor right in front of the killer while being injured? Dead Hard and sacrifice your teammates to the God's fold. So on and so forth. You can legitimately find use for this perk in every single game of Dead by Daylight that you play. Even if you're bad, this perk will save your life at least once per game. I mean, if you're really bad, maybe like every other game, but a bad player will get 10 times more use out of this perk than they will Life, Sprint Burst, Smash Hit, or really any other perk besides Balance Landing on Hattonfield, which, oh boy, that's one for another video.
It's enough to get me to the boiling point!
But why? Why is this perk the White Knight for noobs and the crutch of experienced players? What makes this perk a God-sent gift from the heavens over every other exhaustion perk in the game?
Well, it's really quite simple.
It all comes down to what actually happens behind the scenes when you use this perk. What happens when your survivor actually dashes forward. And I know, no shit, right? No, there's actually something very specific that happens when that happens, and it's called iframes, or invincibility frames. For those of you who don't know what those are, let's take a journey to the terminology glossary for the genre of game where you primarily hear this term used, the fighting game glossary. So this is a state where you are impossible to hit. Fully impervious to everything. Invincible moves usually just remove all of your hurt boxes so no incoming attack or throw can connect with you. As you can imagine, invincible attacks are very strong, so they are usually very unsafe or risky to attempt. And they are commonly used as a reversal in a situation where your opponent has a clear attacking advantage, like on Wake Up. Now, other games have iframes as well, of course, but fighting games are primarily where the mechanic is used. If you'll even notice in the description, it actually states they are usually very unsafe or risky to attempt, which is hilarious because that is entirely true. It's risky. It can get you blown up if used wrong in mostly every fighting game. And that's the complete opposite of what happens in Dead by Daylight, which boggles me on 5 different levels of existence.
What?
So, how do we fix Dead Hard in Dead by Daylight? How do we balance the perk out to be more fair to killers while keeping it useful in more situations than it's not for survivors? It's easy. Just remove the goddamn iframes.
Wow!
It wouldn't actually affect that much removing the iframes. The only thing that would change is how ballsy the perk allows survivors to be. You wouldn't be able to dead hard right in front of a killer's face anymore. You wouldn't want to risk waiting for the last second to dead hard a killer's swing anymore. And you wouldn't be able to sacrifice your teammates to the old gods because you unhooked them right in front of the killer and used dead hard.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Okay. Doing that was kind of funny. But that one change, that one fix completely rounds out the perk to keep it useful but not unfair. You can still dead hard to get to a pallet, whether you need to reach the pallet or just like make it a little bit further around the loop, whatever. It would still be useful in a ton of situations and even still useful in fun, ballsy plays. You would just have to, you know, time the perk better, time your use of the perk better. A little thing called skill.
What?
But it would make one of the most obnoxious perks in the game less annoying, more fair and more skill-based, which is what exhaustion perks should be like anyway. And I know, I'm going to have a bunch of people in the comments flaming me and telling me how wrong I am, but the perk is used by 9 out of 10 survivors for a reason. It's one of the most complained about survivor perks for a reason, and I think that behaviors should be taking extra steps to balance out these perks that have been complained about for years, especially since they've doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on making Dead by Daylight a competitive game with skill-based matchmaking. If you want to make your game competitive, it needs to be balanced. I mean, unless you want to go the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or MKX route and just make everything broken, which I mean...
Yeah, boy.
But they obviously don't. They nerf killers who they feel are too strong, and they've nerfed many perks in the past that they felt were too strong. Some of those perks still just won't fucking die, but they have nerfed them, and I think it's time this perk gets a little slap on the ass too. But hey, that's just my opinion. This is a fun little video I was inspired to make. I want to do my best to bring some comedy to this channel, even if it's horrible. We're kind of just going to be sticking to this format though, even in news and leaks. I want to make it more funny. I just want a little more comedy and entertainment. I think you guys will appreciate it. I know I'll feel better about my videos doing it, more effort and all that good stuff. But if you thought this video was controversial, just wait until the next one I have lined up.
No one escapes death.